Spectrum. Switch and save with Spectrum Mobile. Nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. By Geico, switch today and see all the ways you could save. And by the New York Lottery, visit SNY.TV/New York Lottery to enter the Mets bullpen jackpot promotion for your chance to win $10,000 or more. Max Scherzer, home debut as a New York Met. Certainly has plenty of comfort pitching in this ballpark. As an opposing player, now he gets to experience for the first time in orange and blue. And they let him go out there by himself, Ronnie. That was a nice touch.
It was.
Hey, thanks for covering for me during the pregame scramble.
Listen, there's 3 people in this booth. There's 1 actor, and he is not here for the second game. So I did my best.
Here's your Hyundai starting lineup for the Giants, who took a 4-1 lead in the first game against Tyler McGill, but the Mets rallied to win it in extra innings. Curt Casali behind the plate. No Wilmer Flores, because he has never had a hit against Max Scherzer, and so they'll DH Darren Ruff in the second game. And there is Max looking for his 3rd win in 3 tries as a Met.
Well, you see his Toyota numbers just in the 2 starts, but referencing what Gary mentioned, 14 starts on this mound, 10 wins, including a no-hitter. He's very comfortable here. As the defense behind him, see some changes. Tomas Nido is going to do the catching. Luis Guillorme, I didn't even recognize him when he laid down that beautiful bunt. Escobar, Lindor, and Smith.
Our
like
guys
that.
are the best. That is the best. How did they do that?
Are we sponsored by Norelco?
I am so impressed by that. You're not even going to get a chance to do the outfield because that was the highlight of the season so far. Mike Yastrzemski leads off. First pitch by Scherzer is up and away for ball 1, and we're back underway.
And the outfield, McNeil in left, Nimmo back on the starting lineup. He scored the winning run in game 1. Marte in right.
We're going to have to talk about that, by the way, how Nimmo wound up scoring the winning run. As Yastrzemski swings through a fastball 1-1. Yastrzemski 1 for 3 in the opener, 5 for 27 to start the year. How did Buck get away with mis-executing a double switch and still getting Nimmo into the 9-hole?
Well, I think the only way he got away with it is that maybe he didn't do anything wrong. Maybe the umpires, 2 things might have happened there. The umpires didn't execute something like they were supposed to execute, the lineup change, and Jankowski was not supposed to go out to center field. He should have stayed on the bench.
Swing and a miss and a good cutter by Scherzer, and it's 2-2. Well, my figuring is that Buck had to have told the umpires the right thing, because he was in conversation with the home plate umpire for a long time. But the Nimmo substitution came very late, and you can understand why Gabe Kapler was upset. 2-2 coming. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Scherzer with a fastball fans Yastrzemski for the first down of game 2.
Well, if you're betting, man, you're going to bet with Buck every single time. Rolling right after Yastrzemski was Scherzer. You'll see this early in games. When he gets ahead, he goes to the fastball to put the hitter away.
By the way, the Mets got the benefit of several umpires' decisions. Some here, some in the replay center. Double play negated that got them 3 runs. Error negated that took a run off the board for the Giants, and then the lineup change. Good curveball by Scherzer. He really pulled it back 76 miles an hour to Brandon Belt. Belt went 0 for 4 in the opener.
When you watch Belt at the plate, and Max is throwing hard tonight, when you watch Belt at the plate, nobody keeps that front shoulder closed more than Belt.
And on the hands of Belt, and he fouls it back 1-2. Brandon Belt was off to a hot start, but cooled off in game 1 by Tyler McGill and company. 4 scoreless innings for the Mets bullpen in game 1 by Rodriguez, Lugo, Diaz, and Ottavino, who wound up with the victory. 1-2 coming to Belt. And the changeup down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Darren Ruff hitting 3rd in the order, waiting on deck.
Respect there by Scherzer with the changeup. Started Belt with a curveball.
Belt 3 for 12 in his career against Max. And it's in there. Call strike 3. Got him looking at a backdoor cutter. Beautifully done by Scherzer. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the night.
Sometimes when you're pitching, the intent is to do one thing, but sometimes it ends up being a pitch that works to your advantage. That was supposed to be in on the hands and Belt, ended up a backdoor.
So 2 out and nobody on. And here's Darren Ruff, who came off the bench as Gabe Kapler went lefty righty, and it wound up not working for him in the end when the Mets wound up going back right-handed. And that's something that Kepler's done a lot. Last year they had more pinch hitters than any team in Major League history, but sometimes you can get burned on the back end if the game goes long enough.
18 home runs, 51 RBIs, 8 game-winning RBIs from their pinch hitters last year. They will not be able to use that strength because of the universal DH.
Pinch hitting will become a much lesser part of the game now. That's in at the knees for a strike with a changeup, and it's 1-2. Scherzer has struck out the first 2. Slow ground ball. Lindor has to charge. Plays it on the move. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning from Max Scherzer. His first from the Citi Field mound as a Met. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the first. No score. Geico starting lineup for game 2. Brandon Nimmo, his first start coming back from the COVID IL. Dominic Smith in at first base. So Pete Alonso, who has had great success as a DH so far this year, back in that role. Facing a guy who has quickly become one of the most feared pitchers in baseball.
If you are a casual observer of baseball, this is the guy you don't know. Logan Webb has just busted on the scene from last year, and you're going to see some different pitching here. A sinker, a slider. He can four seam it. A cutter. Does a lot of different things, but it's the slider that's his signature pitch.
Purple skies.
It was raining for about 5 minutes in between games.
That's some strange weather. Brandon Nimmo takes a sinker, knees in black for a strike, and Webb establishing early what he's all about. Logan Webb, 25 years old. That changeup, which progressed from a decent pitch when he first came up to a great pitch the second half of last year.
It's really almost like a slip pitch. It slips out of his hand and tumbles, and very unlike, you know, the kind of circle changes we see from most pitchers.
And he's thrown that changeup a lot in the early season, 33% of the time, and he uses it to strike out Nimmo for the first down.
Well, defense in the second game for the Giants. Vossler had a big game. The local kid, Crawford, Estrada, and Belt, same infield. Kurt Casale, who gets the start behind the plate. And in the outfield, Yastrzemski in right field, Duggar in center field, and Peterson in left. They started the first game as well.
So now the hero of game 1, Francisco Lindor, whose 5th inning double tied it and 10th inning single won it. It's funny how fortunes can change so quickly in the game of baseball. In the top of the 10th inning, it looked like Lindor had made the error that gave the Giants the lead. That call got overturned, and then for good measure, Lindor provided the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 10th. He lines one the other way, and he's got a base hit to start this night. So the first base runner of the game, Lindor, 2 hits in the opener and an opposite field single with 1 out in the first inning.
Impressive hitting here, just a sinker away, just up enough, thigh high, that if you try to pull that, it's a ground ball to second base. If you go with it, it's a sharp line drive. That game-winning hit in game 1 against the changeup, the way he went down and got it, that took some talent.
Mets altering some things in their batting order for game 2, with Starling Marte hitting 7th. That allows Jeff McNeil to stay near the top of the order. He's batting 3rd for the first time this year. Jeff was 1 for 5 in the opener, had a 2-run double in the Mets' 3-run 5th. And he lays off the first pitch changeup, ball 1.
It's almost like the lineup is composed of who is good at the ball down in the zone. That's going to be the top of the lineup.
Mets only have a sprinkling of at-bats against Webb, who made 1 start against them last year and was very impressive. That was last August in San Francisco. Pitched into the 8th inning. McNeil slashes 1 foul on a sinker, and it's 1-1. I mean, Webb was great last year and got better and better as the year went along, but probably was never better than he was in his 2 games against the Dodgers in the National League Division Series. Allowed just 1 run over 14 2/3 innings and struck out 17 while walking only 1.
And that was only in game 1 and game 5.
Giants lost game 5, but it wasn't because of Logan Webb. They lost it 2-1 on a 9th inning run driven in by Cody Bellinger, and then Max Scherzer coming out of the bullpen and striking out Wilmer Flores to end it on a ball that Wilmer still hasn't swung at.
That's right.
And now you got the 2 guys, the guy who started the game for the Giants and the guy who finished the game for the Dodgers, going head to head in this game tonight.
107 wins by the Giants, of course. 106 by the Dodgers. Dodgers beat the Cardinals in the wild card game and then took out the Giants in 5 games.
2-1 to McNeil with Pete Alonso on deck. Lindor stole a base in the first game. And McNeil fouls away the sinker, and it's 2-2. In fact, that save for Scherzer in game 5 is the only save in his major league career. Hasn't had one in the regular season. And it could be that because of coming back to pitch in that 5th game, it cost him a start in the league championship series when he said that his arm just didn't recover enough.
Yeah, he couldn't make his start. The young Walker Buehler had to start on 3 days rest.
And that's part of how the Braves wound up in the World Series. 2-2 coming, and McNeil grounds it down to Belt. Out at second. The return by Crawford is high, sails past the pitcher. McNeil did not make a turn, and he'll stay at first base. So it's a 3-6 fielder's choice. No error.
In these 2 games, I don't think I've ever seen more opportunities to have a double play with the pitcher covering. And this one not even close. Webb is an outstanding athlete as well. So I think what happens for a lot of shortstops, and you'd have to ask them, but I think they try to ease up when they make the throw to a pitcher at first, and it always ends up being a bad throw.
Webb pointing to his chest, maybe saying he wasn't there quick enough.
He was a little late.
So 2 on McNeil at first. The inning is prolonged, and Pete Alonso gets a crack. Pete's hit 3 home runs this year. They've all come as a designated hitter. And he's DHing in game 2 tonight after going 0 for 4 in the opener, playing first base. And sinker taken low for ball 1.
Watch the hesitation. He wasn't sure what the play was. Little hesitation. He had to keep going.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I think he just thought that he thought it was just going to be a simple force play, and they were not going to be able to turn it around.
First game, it looked like they had turned a 3-6 against Jankowski, but that call got overturned.
This is not a bad matchup for Pete. Now, Webb is a great pitcher. He's one of the bright young stars, pitching arms in the game, but he's a low ball pitcher, and Pete likes the ball down.
Alonso had a home run against Webb last year. And he bounces one foul, 2-1. He scored only 2 runs in 7 1/3 innings against Webb, and Pete was one of the few Mets who succeeded against him in that game.
Webb grew up about an hour northeast of San Francisco, so a local kid.
Rockland, California, where he was a noted high school quarterback. Threw for 47 touchdowns. Grounded down to third, and Vostro will make the play on Alonso, and that retires the side. Scherzer back to the mound, no score. Games live or on demand, plus MLB Big Inning and select pregame and postgame coverage. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Jock Peterson, who homered in game 1, swings and misses at a Max Scherzer fastball as we start the second.
Max always means business, but I think it's up a notch this evening.
You know, normally when you have a doubleheader, particularly one on short notice like we had today, the veteran pitcher pitches the first game.
Yes.
because there's certainty about what time the game is going to start. You don't have to sit around and wait to see whether there's a rain delay or extra innings or anything like that, and an uncertain second game start time. But in this case, Scherzer asked to pitch the second game. What do you make of that?
A couple of things. One is that he likes to pitch around this time. 90% of his starts are going to be in the 7 o'clock hour. So I think why not get it started right now? I also think because of the extra inning rule, I always pick the first game because I was afraid if you don't pick the first game and it goes 18 innings, you're there for 4 hours in the clubhouse.
Now you don't have to worry quite as much about that, although it was a 3.5 hour first game. And I think also, you know, Scherzer is such a creature of adrenaline. I think he feeds off the crowd as much as any pitcher. And for the 3 o'clock game, you just weren't going to have the same kind of gathering that you have for the night game. So maybe that has something to do with it as well. Curveball flicked foul by Peterson.
Or maybe he had something to do with 3.
Who knows? None of us knows for sure, but he wanted the second game and he's got it. And here he is pitching on the Citi Field mound for the first time as a Met, wearing blue. Gosh, it looks good.
It does look good.
Matches his one eye. Fly ball out to center field. And Nimmo ranging over, tracking it on the wind, and makes the catch, 1 out.
Keith's the veteran. He wanted the first game.
Did he choose?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, did he have dinner plans tonight?
I don't. Well, he has dinner plans every night.
Well, but he was originally scheduled to work last night and tonight, right?
Yeah.
So he was able to maybe make dinner plans that he didn't previously have for tonight.
I think he's got the other number into our new executive producer, and he got there a little quicker than I did.
Gotcha. You got the back channel.
Exactly.
Brandon Crawford, 2 hits, 2 RBIs in the opener, and he pops one straight up. Nido back to the backstop and just beyond his reach. That was never going to be easy for Tomas. There are so few balls caught behind the plate here in foul territory because it's such a short distance back to the stands. It was one that might have had a chance, but I think the wind got a hold of that. Crawford's had success against Scherzer, 6 for 15 with a couple of home runs. Not a lot of guys hit 400 against Max Scherzer. You know what I didn't remember about Max? Not only did he pitch all those successful games here at Citi Field, he actually pitched at Shea Stadium as a rookie with the Diamondbacks.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
2008.
2 no-hitters in 2015. One of them here, of course, when he struck out 17 Mets.
One of the most dominant pitching performances of all time. Only 1 base runner in that game. Came on an error, I think, right?
Yes.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with the back foot slider. 3rd strikeout for Scherzer as he takes care of Crawford for the 2nd out.
All the pitches of Max are spot on so far. He is locked in early. You know, he never had that cutter slider early in his career, and he developed it because he was having a little trouble getting lefties out. It's been a big difference.
This year the lefties are hitting 192 against him. There's Thairo Estrada, 2 for 5 in the opener today. And he takes a fastball just off the plate. And the curveball pulled just foul. So Scherzer today is trying to get a win after winning his first start and winning his second start. If I give you 100 guesses, I don't know if you could guess the last Mets pitcher to start and win his first 3 appearances as a Met.
First 3 appearances as a Met.
First 3 appearances as a Met, all as a starter, won them all. Last to do it. 2007. I might even be able to give you the initials and you wouldn't get.
Wow. That's
how about this? Jorge Sosa.
No.
1-2 coming. And a slider in the dirt, and he went around. Strike 3. First base umpire Kurt Vondrack making the call. And Scherzer has 2 perfect innings under his belt with 4 strikeouts. Trying to make like Jorge Sosa. No score at Citi Field.
The home run machine.
Eduardo Escobar leads off for New York as we go to the home second. Escobar 1 for 3 in the opener today, facing Logan Webb, and he lines one the other way for a base hit. So just as Lindor did, he takes the sinker and goes the other way, and the Mets have their second hit against Webb.
You know what I really enjoy about today's game is that when I see certain teams have a real game plan offensively against the pitcher, and certainly against Webb with that good sinker and changeup going the other way makes sense. Just like the Giants had a really good idea about going up against McGill in the first game with being very aggressive early in the count.
We'll talk about going against type. McGill went into that game thinking, oh, the Giants are going to be taken early in the count. I'm going to get ahead of people, and they never let him get settled in. And to his credit, he was able to figure it out over his last 3 innings and get through 6 as his team rebounded.
You shocked me with a number. I think you said 57 pitches to the first 18 hitters.
He had a 5-pitch first inning, which I don't think Dave told me the last Mets started to do that was Noah Syndergaard 5 years ago. 5-pitch first inning. Dom came off the bench to strike out as a pinch hitter in game 1, and Webb crowds him with a slider, and he held the swing, and it's 1-1. Today's City Community Home Runs fan of the game is Lisa from Manhattan. Go to sny.tv/CHR to enter. Good luck, Lisa. Escobar at first and nobody out. Dom playing first base in the nightcap. Grounds one down to Belt. Another chance to turn 2. Crawford with the return throw. This one's too late. So another opportunity for a 3-6-1, but Dom was able to beat it out.
I've never seen it happen so often. This time Crawford first, Belt with the throw. Big hop, makes a perfect throw, but this time Crawford erred on making a proper throw, that it was on the base, but didn't put anything on it, so he didn't have a chance to turn it.
I mean, as a pitcher, your responsibility is to get there and turn and find the throw, but as a shortstop, I would think that you have to be a little wary of a pitcher who until the last moment has his back to you, running to the bag. Starling Marte hitting 7th. And he swings and misses at a slider, 0-1.
Gary, I think it's all about the infielders knowing who the pitcher is. If they have confidence that that guy is going to catch the ball over there, they will wing it.
So Kevin Elster wasn't lollipopping.
No.
Because you were there in plenty of time.
Yeah.
The last time Starling Marte batted 7th in the order was 2014. I'm going to have to ask Buck after this what the thinking was, because you don't think of Marte as being a 7-hitter. 1 for 4 in the opener. And he fouls off the changeup, and it's 1-2.
On the pitcher covering at first on the double play, you know how athletes are so competitive. My goal always was to be waiting for the throw so that I could have bragging rights.
I mean, it's got to be particularly hard for the shortstop if it's a lefty pitcher, right?
Yeah, of course.
He's going to get there later than the righty. And Marte gets a slider and hits it out to right center. Duggar over in the gap, and it's the second out. Dom back to first. 2 out now, the clean-shaven Luis Guillorme. How long do you think it's going to be before he grows it back?
I mean, I was shocked when he got on camera. I mean, he doesn't look at all like he does with the beard. I mean, he has a certain kind of look like that.
I was in the clubhouse yesterday. We were waiting before the game got rained out. And Tomas Nido walks up to the ping pong table in the clubhouse and starts playing with this guy. And for a moment, I had no idea who it was. And it was Luis. Of course, you know why he shaved it, right?
I'm thinking because he hasn't got a hit yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He said he was thinking about shaving it later in the year when it got warmer, but he said the 0 for 12 definitely accelerated the process.
I mean, that was a good bunt in the first game. That was not an easy pitcher to bunt against.
Came in the 9th inning, pinch hitting. He laid down a sacrifice. And this is just outside a backdoor slider, 2-1. Logan Webb, 25 years old, 4th round pick by the Giants in 2014. Came up 2 years ago and last year established himself as one of the pitching stars in this game. And this is down with a changeup, 3-1. When I look at his sinker, you know who he reminds me of? Another guy named Webb. Brandon
Webb, yes.
The Diamondbacks.
Cy Young Award winner.
Until he hurt his arm and really never was able to recover. Hit 1 to Guillorme. And that's ball 4. So Webb, who walks very few, issues his first walk. And since the start of last year, only Corbin Burns, who won a Cy Young last year, Max Scherzer has won 3 Cy Youngs, and 3 other pretty good pitchers have a better ERA. So 2 on and 2 out. Here's Tomas Nido, who finished the game behind the plate in the day game. Now getting the start in the nightcap. 3 for 13 to start the year. Looking for his first run batted in. Smith at second. Guillorme at first with 2 out. And a half swing on a slider, and he held it in time. Ball 1. I mentioned that Webb was drafted out of high school in 2014, but didn't really hit his stride until last year. Well, there are reasons for that. One, he had Tommy John surgery his first year in pro ball in 2015, and then in 2019 he was suspended for half a season because he was found to have used PEDs. So that certainly set his progress back.
If you talk to the Giants people, his maturity off the field has produced now what you're seeing on the field, and it took some time.
Nothing but sliders to Nido, who goes chasing, and it's 1-2. With the pitches that he throws down in the zone, the sinkers and the changeups and the sliders, he generates the highest ground ball rate of any pitcher in the majors. Last year, 61% of the batted balls against him were hit on the ground, and that was #1. They say you can't pitch down in the zone.
Right.
He can.
That's right.
Nido flies one out to right, chasing Yastrzemski back a few strides, and that retires the side. Mets strand 2 in the second, no score. With 200 strikeouts, Max Scherzer chasing some history. I mean, you don't count 2020.
What they do. I mean, that Pete would like 2020 not to count for his home run records, you know, in his first full seasons. It's all right.
I think we have to make some accommodations to the record book.
He can live without that record.
Yeah.
He's got plenty others.
Well, a plaque in Cooperstown 5 years after he retires, and what more are you going to ask for? Maybe $43 million a year. That plays. Steven Duggart leading off in the third. 1 for 4 in the opener. Man, he really dialed back on that curveball.
He really, everything is working. Big hook, 2 of them now.
Lower third of the order after Scherzer retired the first 6, striking out 4 of those 6. And Duggar drives one out to center. Nimmo cutting across. Hardest hit ball against Scherzer so far. 1 out.
I wonder if those slow curveballs are Bassett inspired.
Well, remember, it was Scherzer who challenged DeGrom to throw curveballs in spring training. Speaking of Jake, by the way, he is scheduled to have his next MRI on Monday, 6 days from now. And if it comes back clean and shows that that stress reaction in his scapula has gone away, then he can start throwing and basically start spring training from 0. There's Jason Vosler. And he takes a strike. Vosler 2 hits in the opener, a single and a double in his first action of 2022.
I like this shot. I saw you guys use it in the first game. I know where the fielders are now.
Really gives you a good sense of the shift. And a half swing. It's in for a strike.
Jason Vosler's got to have a lot of family here, right?
Well, if he was able to get them to the ballpark in time. I don't know when they told him he was getting called up. Born in West Nyack, went to Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey. Swing and a miss. Back foot slider by Scherzer to strike out Vosler. That's 5 strikeouts through the first 8 batters for Max. It's pretty good no matter what he throws.
You know, when we single it out like that, it just shows you how difficult all those pitches are. But he's a genius as the way he uses those pitches and the sequencing of them that makes them all a little better.
There's Curt Casali, backup catcher, getting the start in game 2 after Joey Bart caught the opener. Casali now 33 years old. He was in 77 games last year for the Giants. Backing up Buster Posey, now backing up Joey Bart. And slider off the plate, a ball and strike.
Tommy Rockland's favorite player, Curt Casali, in Duquesne, in Connecticut.
Oh. It's rarefied air. And Casali stopped the swing in time. 2-1. From New Canaan to Vanderbilt. It's heady stuff.
To the Giants. It's all good.
Or in Tommy's case, to Muhlenberg to our truck.
Wow.
I think he's got Casali beat. Curveball in for a strike, and it's 2-2. Two coming. Just missed. It's 3 pitches to Casali that have just missed. Full count.
When he's looking in the air like that, that's what you're thinking about. Okay, what am I going to throw? You only had thought about this at bat to that pitch. When you don't make it, you're thinking of the next.
3-2 coming. A weak swing foul. Just took that ball out of the catcher's glove to make contact. Scherzer's 3rd start. He's protecting that hamstring the first time out. Trying to make the adjustment to being fully healthy the second time, and now pitching his home opener. And a half swing foul. He's got a piece of that slider.
All the thoughts that go through your mind in a 3-2 count on the 9th place hitter with Yastrzemski up next. You're thinking to yourself, okay, what can I throw for a strike? Should I challenge him? Of course you have to. You don't want Yastrzemski to come up who has great power next. So you got to retire this hitter. I'd expect him to challenge him here.
8th pitch of the at bat to Casali. And he walked him. So the Giants have their first base runner of the night. A 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter. Highest strikeouts per 9 innings of all time. Max is right at the top of the heap.
That's remarkable.
Well, it also shows you how the game has evolved.
It has evolved. It certainly has. But I mean, he's done that over 2,000 innings.
Well, he struck out 300 one year.
Those other two used to do that as well.
Here's Yastrzemski, who struck out his first time up. And Max gets the cutter in for a strike, 0-1. And Yastrzemski flies one out to left. Plenty of room for McNeil. And that retires the side. No hits over 3 innings allowed by the heterochromic right-hander. History as the New York, well, first Gothams and then eventually Giants. And we're in New York for the better part of 8 decades before heading off to San Francisco in 1958. Brandon Nimmo grounds one down to Brandon Belt. Brandon retires Brandon. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, the rivalry between the Dodgers and Giants, of course, goes back to New York. Jackie Robinson played his entire major league career for the Brooklyn Dodgers, was traded to the Giants after the 1956 season, but opted not to report to the Giants. Took a job with Chock full of nuts and ended his career rather than wear the uniform of the rival Giants.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
No Sal Magley he. No. Of course, Magley went from being a Giant stalwart to pitching for the Dodgers at the end of his career.
The barber.
Lindor had an opposite field hit his first time up. Lindor 3 for 6 in the doubleheader. Now the game-winning hit in Game 1, and he pulls one on the ground for a base hit. Toward the line goes Yastrzemski. Lindor is going to try for 2. Yastrzemski's throw to second base, not in time, and Lindor is 2 for 2. So he went the other way his first time up. This time gets a ball he can pull, and he's got himself his second double of the day.
Well, look at this swing from the side. Beautiful balance by Lindor. And the Giants in this entire doubleheader have played Belt so far off that line, and now they've gotten beat 3 times down there and out of the box. We saw the hustle in the first game for a double. We've seen the hustle all year.
Now is his average up to 325 with 4 hits in the doubleheader. And so seeing the Francisco Lindor that they thought they had made the trade for last year. There's Jeff McNeil. And he takes a changeup off the plate for ball 1.
Webb is off today. We were talking about Scherzer being right on time. Webb usually is a strike thrower, meaning that he just fills the zone with strikes. There's balls being put on the ground the first 2 or 3 pitches. It's been behind a lot of hitters.
He also usually works at a very rapid clip, and he's going a little slower today. Lindor at second and 1 out. Scoreless game in the 3rd.
He's one of the few Dodgers starting pitchers that they will put a play on at second base between he and Crawford. Try to make sure they keep Lindor close. Maybe a pickoff play.
Lindor stole third base with 2 out in the first game of the doubleheader today. Backdoor slider misses, and it's 2-0 to McNeil. So he fell behind 2-0 to Lindor, 2-0 to McNeil. And he's already walked a batter in this game.
Well, the Giant Dodger talk, I think I said Webb of the Dodgers. Of course not. Giants, he and Crawford.
A slider for a strike. Last year, Logan Webb had a stretch where he went 14 straight starts allowing 2 runs or fewer. No Giant pitcher had done that since 1917. Push button signs with the pitch come.
See Curt Casali, the way he sets up, he gives you a nice big target, wide-legged. I know you guys talked about it in the first game that there was a lot of catching by both catchers in the Mets and the Giants with that right knee or left knee down.
Well, it certainly impeded Joey Bart's ability to stop a couple of wild pitches. All right, you're going to have to explain that to me.
Yeah.
So Casali pushes the button for the pitch, and then he covers the pitch count with his hand.
I don't know that. I wouldn't know the explanation on that. First, he gave hand signals. That's usually to tell you what sign you're going to give if you're doing it with your fingers. But that just might be an old habit he has. Now he's got to look at it to figure it out.
Change up in the dirt, 3-2. Well, the whole pitch calm thing is a work in progress in terms of setting the volume correctly so everybody can hear it. We saw Brandon Crawford struggling to hear in the first game. We know Adam Ottavino had trouble with it on Sunday. James McCann has put the thing inside his chest protector because he's afraid of somebody getting close up and reading which button he's pushing if he pushes it on his wrist. So everybody's still trying to figure this thing out. 3-2 to McNeil. And the slider hit in the air to left field. And Peterson right there. Lindor holds at second, 2 out.
Who's playing the lead in this expensive Broadway play? I don't know. I think she's a work in progress. I mean, it's hard to make it a work in progress while real games are being played. It's got to be frustrating sometimes.
But of course, that's part of the problem with any new technology is you can perfect it all you want until it actually goes into operation under game conditions.
That's right.
Pete Alonso looking for his first hit in this doubleheader. Started the day with the National League lead in RBIs.
How about Suzuki, the start he's gotten off to for the Cubs?
First Cub to begin his Cubs career with a 9-game hitting streak since Andy Pafko in 1943.
Oh. It's a blast name from the past.
Saying that Webb had a streak of 14 straight starts of 2 runs or less, first since 1917 when Ferdy Shupp did it. There's a name for it. Ferdy Shupp. Chasing. Lindor at second with 2 out. Webb ahead in the count, 0-2 on Alonso. And Casali down in the dirt to stop that slider and keep Lindor at second.
So when you have a big stance like this where you're on your toes, you can push off a little bit with that left foot. You can move that right foot a little to give you more room to move. Or better lateral movement.
That was interesting too. What we just saw with Casali giving signs. He looked down to push the button, but then he had to look up to see if Webb was shaking him off.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, I think that it's a work in progress for Mr. Casali too, who's a little old school.
I mean, McCann, having it inside his chest protector, is pushing the buttons blindly so he can look out at the pitcher while he's pushing it to see if he's shaking. Whereas Casali's got to go back and forth, look up, see the shake, try something else, see the shake.
Yeah.
Well, so far, Scherzer's had no interest in dealing with the pitch count. they're going to try again. How about that? Okay. 1-2 coming, and Alonso checks the swing and held it in time. 2-2. It certainly is slowing Webb down rather than speeding it up.
And you are right, Gary. He is a very quick worker, and maybe because of trying to figure this out, it's taking a little longer than normal.
Two and two to Alonso. Escobar would be next. And that's outside and off the mid of Casali, and over to third goes Lindor. So after blocking a pitch in the dirt early in the count, this time Webb throws one so wide Casali can't get to it.
And it was supposed to be inside, so he missed his target by 3 or 4 feet.
Be interesting to hear after the game whether these two have gotten a little discombobulated using the technology.
Another case of, you know, this is the new era. This is post Buster Posey era, who caught most of Webb's starts last year.
Look at this. Now he's using traditional signs with no runner at second base. 3-2 to Alonso, and he missed low ball 4. So after getting ahead on Pete 0-2, he loses Alonso to a walk. Second walk given up by Webb, and now Escobar will come up with runners at the corners.
Scherzer
continues to pace.
Still pacing.
How many steps does he get on his Fitbit? It's spring break in New York City. Bring the family to Citi Field to see the Mets take on the Giants. For a limited time, youth tickets are only $5 with the purchase of a full-priced adult ticket. Visit Mets.com/springbreak for tickets. Game 3 of this series tomorrow night, then a day game on Thursday before the Mets hit the road to head to Eduardo Escobar's old haunts in Arizona. Escobar took one the other way for a base hit against Webb his first time up in this game. 2 for 4 now in the doubleheader. Lindor at third, Alonso at first with 2 out as the Mets try and break through against Webb in the third. Escobar takes a change up, ruled to be low, ball 1. Home plate umpire Ramon De Jesus didn't work in game 1. Backdoor slider misses. Expect to a mobile high-speed pitch. Scherzer's topped out at 96. Webb at 93. Escobar has not had a lot of RBI situations early in the season. He's just 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position.
He's in a nice spot here, though.
Up in the count, 2-0. And Webb misses badly, 3-0. I've never seen Logan Webb struggle with his command like this.
It's almost like he's not comfortable throwing his fastball away to the left-handed hitters. Gave up 2 hits to Lindor and Escobar on that pitch.
He's already thrown 21 pitches in this inning. Escobar taking all the way. There's a sinker for a strike. 3-1. Dom Smith would be next. Webb's third consecutive 3-ball count. And Escobar fouls off the sinker. 3-2. Alonso will get set to run from first. Lindor leading at third. 3-2, 2 down. And Escobar fouls one away. An inside changeup from a right-hander on 3-2.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to do that. He's just trying to throw it for a strike, Gary, just in case Escobar took it. Sometimes you hold on to it a little too long.
reasons for Met fans to smile right now. Trying to take advantage of rare struggles by this elite young right-hander. And Escobar fouls off another. Most pitchers sit when their team is batting.
That's right.
Not that guy. Constant motion. 8th pitch of the at bat coming from Webb to Escobar. And he pulls one on the ground past Belt, base hit, and the Mets take the lead. Lindor is in. Alonso being waved around third. The relay throw to the plate by Estrada. Alonso slides in safely. It's a 2-run double for Eduardo Escobar. And the Mets jump in front 2-0 in the third. What a great turn at bat by Escobar. And the Mets again beat Belt down the line. And this one plates 2.
Well, here's the swing first. Another changeup right in the middle of the plate. He faced 6 or 7 of those changeups in that at bat. Ball hit too hard for Belt to come up with. Way off that line. Cost him again. Thought it was going to be a play at the plate. Joey Cora has been so aggressive at third base. And watch as he's on the run. He knows it's a base hit. He picks up Cora, and Cora's waving the whole time. Let's go, big fella. Dive into the outside of that plate. The sweep tag by Casali, not even close.
So a 2-out, 2-run double for Eduardo Escobar. His 3rd and 4th RBIs as a Met. And the Mets take advantage of Webb's struggles.
If you throw that many changeups in one at bat, it no longer is a changeup.
Now Dom Smith. And he drives one into center field. That's a base hit. Escobar around third. He'll come in to score. Dom Smith drives in a run with a 2-out single, and it's 3-0 New York. And Logan Webb is on the ropes.
Like I said before, just a really nice approach by this offense against one of the premier pitchers in the game. Nice job by Dominic staying back, using the middle of the field. RBI situation. 2-out backbreaker against Webb.
So a couple of big 2-out hits for Escobar and Smith. 3-0 Mets. And now Marte starting to fly to center his first time up. And I agree with you, Ronnie. It really looks as though Webb, since early in the game, has lost confidence in his signature sinker.
Yeah.
Marte gets jammed and fouls it off.
He threw 2 right there. You know why? Because he's just angry at himself for not using it. Well, that's out of anger, those 2 fastballs.
Well, Andrew Bailey came out to talk to him, and I'm sure that was part of the message that the pitching coach brought. Oh, what a great at bat for Escobar. 30th pitch of the inning upcoming for Webb. And he gets the slider in for a strike. 1-2.
You can tell even the pitches he's getting called strikes. That's a hanging slider. The fastball he threw on the first pitch, he really pulled it. It was supposed to be in. Just not throwing to his spots like you usually see from Logan Webb.
Marte grounds one out to Crawford, and he gets the force play to end the inning, but the Mets put up a 3-spot. RBI hits for Escobar and Smith, and they hand Scherzer a 3-0 lead after 3. For a couple of weeks, and he has already established himself as a very aggressive and enthusiastic third base waiver.
I mean, I love it. And then his eyes peeled on Pete to make sure his decision was right, and it was.
This team's playing with great energy, great intelligence right now. It's been fun to watch. Brandon Belt leads off against Max Scherzer, who's now been staked to a 3-run lead.
They knew who was coming in. This is a real a mark when you play against a team that won 107 last year, has gotten off to a quick start this year.
That's a fairly early trip to San Francisco, right? They go there in May. Brandon Belt took a call third strike his first time up. One of 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings for Max. And he finds the inside corner with a cutter. And it's 1-2. Darren Ruff on deck, then Jock Peterson. Scherzer came out breathing fire tonight.
No, he's not throwing lefty.
It's backwards day. Hooked in the air down the right field line. Marte with a long run toward the sidewall, but that'll go out of play. It's an amazing thing that you have a matchup tonight between a pitcher on one side, Scherzer, who's gone 21 straight starts without a loss, and a pitcher on the other side, Logan Webb, who included in the postseason has gone 24 straight starts without a loss. I mean, think about the odds of that happening. 2-2 to Belt. And I think it's poignant on a day when a pitcher who won 20 games in a row, Jake Arrieta, retired. Guys who just can't lose.
It's win day when they're out there. Here's my other thought about why Max picked the second game. What if he identified who the pitcher was going to be for San Francisco and wanted to pitch against that pitcher?
Wow. Does he know he's not allowed to bat against him? Belt flies one out to right. Marte giving ground but has room. Belt retired, 1 out. Well, when Max signed with the Mets, this is what he said. The pressure is a privilege, not a problem. I love that line.
Well, pressure is a privilege. First time I ever heard that was from Billie Jean King. She made that famous when she was playing tennis. And that is about as good a quote as you can take and deliver as an athlete. And he treats it that way. You can see it in his being.
Say you could see it in his eyes, but you'd have to identify which eye, which Max did when Dusty Baker asked him, which eye should I look at? He said, look at the brown one. That's the baseball eye. Ruff grounded out his first time. He said the blue one's the sexy eye.
No,
the brown one is the baseball eye.
The blue one's what makes me handsome. And okay, I get it.
One-two coming to Ruff. Struck him out. Great changeup by Scherzer for his 6th strikeout of the night.
I'm going to be doing that a lot this summer. I mean, to be able to throw a changeup to a right-hander from a right-hander that's down and away, it's so hard to do. I'm telling you, folks, it's so hard to do.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Jock Peterson, who flied to center his first time. And he flies this one to shallow center. A long run in for Nimmo, but he'll get there. And that retires the side. 4 hitless innings for Max Scherzer. 3-0 Mets going to the bottom of the 4th. Stream the Mets with the new SNY app. Watch live Mets games, pre and post game shows, and all SNY programming anytime, anywhere, on any device with an in-market TV provider subscription. The SNY app. Scan the code and download now. Home 4th inning. Luis Guillorme leads off against Logan Webb, who really struggled in the 3rd. Took him 31 pitches to get through that 3rd inning.
Well, Tyler McGill did a nice job of making an adjustment in the first game to hold the Giants to 4 runs over 6 innings. Let's see what kind of adjustment Webb makes.
And Guillorme takes a strike. 1-2. Luis drew a walk his first time up. One of 2 walks given up by Webb already tonight. He had walked only 1 batter in 14 innings over his first 2 starts. Didn't walk anybody his last time out in 8 innings against the Padres. And the changeup blown away. 2-2. Tomas Nido on deck. Then Brandon Nimmo for the Mets in the home 4th. And that's taken the other way, and Guillorme's got his first hit of the season. No beard, no problem. The well-shorn Guillorme finally has his first knock of 2022.
The players will sometimes ask for the ball to be thrown in the dugout so they can put it in his locker. Again, another approach. Gets a little spinning slider in the middle of the plate. He was going that way the entire way, whether it was a changeup, fastball, or slider.
So the new guy has a hit.
There you go. Yeah, he's a good hitter, this guy.
Wayne Kirby saying, see? No beard, base hit. Now Tomas Nido, who flied to right his first time. Mets now have 6 hits against Webb. Nido hits a double play ball right at Crawford, and the turn by Estrada for the 6-4-3 double play. So 2 out and nobody on. And the Giants bullpen gets going. Sam Long is up. Webb up to 70 pitches. He threw 96 in his last start in 8 innings against San Diego, but he's at 70 in the 4th inning tonight.
That 31 pitch inning is the one that's going to take him out of this game.
He starts his 3rd time around the batting order. Brandon Nimmo takes a strike. Nimmo back in the starting lineup in this game for the first time at home. Filled by the COVID protocols right before the home opener on Friday. Marcana still out. It's got word very late today, about a half an hour before the game, that Nimmo was going to be available. And he wound up scoring the winning run in the 10th inning in game 1.
Waiting for a phone call from whomever to let you know that you're off the list.
Did you see where the Oakland A's put 6 players on the COVID list at once the day before yesterday?
I know. I had to make sure that they weren't going to Toronto.
Well, the Red Sox had 3 players who couldn't make the trip to Toronto,
including one of the pitchers who was going to start a game there.
Tanner Houck, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Unvaccinated players not welcome in Toronto. Inside ball 4, the force field in effect. And Nimmo is aboard on the walk. 2 more games to go in this series. Tomorrow night, Chris Bassett for the Mets, Carlos Rodon for the Giants. A couple of new acquisitions, both off to great starts. And then the day game Thursday, Carlos Carrasco, who's looked just splendid through his first 2 starts against Anthony DeSclafani.
This might be Kirk Casale come out to talk to his young right-hander, and I think he might be out of this game.
Lindor coming up, and Francisco's already 2 for 2 against Webb tonight. 3 walks now given up by Webb over 3 2/3 innings. And here comes Gabe, and he's going to make the pitching change. So they're going to pull the plug on Webb after 3 2/3 and 75 pitches. Not able to hold up his end of this much anticipated pitching matchup. And Sam Long will come out of the bullpen, and that'll turn Lindor around and make him a right-hand batter. No signal as yet from Kapler, killing as much time as he can to give Long a few extra warm-up pitches on a cold night.
It's one of those times as a manager you want to pick your words correctly to your ace.
And now the sign has gone out. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com. We'll be right back. tying hit and the winning hit in Game 1, and he's already 2 for 2 in the nightcap. It's been a total reset for Francisco in his second year as a Met, and it's the first year of his 10-year contract. He's gotten off to a rollicking start. Single and a double in this game, batting left-handed. Now he bats right-handed against the new Giants pitcher Sam Long, with a runner at first and 2 out.
Sam Long, pretty straight fastball, big overhand curveball.
Sam Long was in the Tampa Bay organization. They released him in spring training of 2018. So he went home to Sacramento and enrolled at EMT school. He wanted to become a firefighter. Tried to give baseball one more shot, and lo and behold, it worked out with his hometown team. He had 5 starts for the Giants last year, along his 12 outings. And that's in for a call strike. Changeup, 2-1. Logan Webb went 3 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs so far, 3 walks, only 1 strikeout, a wild pitch, 75 pitches. And Lindor pops one out. Casali sheds the mask. Back to the screen, and just enough room to make the catch. Nicely done by Curt Casali. And Lindor is retired for the first time in this game. That sends us to the 5th. Scherzer back to the mound with a 3-0 lead. Looking for a doubleheader sweep. They won the opener in 10 innings, 5-4. And with Max Scherzer throwing BBs, they lead the Giants 3-0 after 4 in the nightcap. Scherzer's allowed just 1 base runner over the first 4 innings. He walked the number 9 hitter Curt Casali in the 3rd. He'll face Brandon Crawford leading off in the 5th. Crawford struck out, 1 of 6 for Scherzer on the night. And he swings and misses at a first pitch changeup, 0-1. I mean, if you're facing Max Scherzer and he's still throwing 95 miles an hour, cutter, slider, curveball, changeup, what the heck do you look for?
Oh, well, I think you look for area. I don't think you can look for a pitch. I think that's how he's evolved now to, what's Max, 35 years old at this point? 37 years old. So this is where he's evolved to. He's evolved to a point where he can throw anything, any count, and they're all quality pitches. That's who he is now. Before, he was more of the attack, fastball, slider.
Lots of shakes to get to the curveball, and it goes to the backstop, 1-2. No pitch com for Max.
I love how he flips the ball to try to ease the tension.
Past the mound, behind the bag. Nice backhand play by Lindor, and he throws out his opposite number, Crawford. Lindor made that look easy. 1 out.
I mean, I wonder what it feels like for a pitcher when a ball is smashed between your legs and you see that it's going to be an out.
Used to be a hit 99 times out of 100. Not anymore.
It's a beautiful feeling.
So 1 out. Here's Thairo Estrada, and he gets under one to left field. Plenty of room for McNeil. Wind carries it, and McNeil stays with it. Boy, that wind just continues to play havoc with balls hit in the air. It took a sharp right turn in midair. 2 out. It's not what you'd call baseball weather.
No.
But it's weather, and we're playing baseball in it, so it's baseball weather.
It's April in Flushing. I mean, that's how it goes.
Judging by the long-range forecast, it's not going to get a lot warmer anytime soon. We are going to Phoenix for 3 days over the weekend, and the high on Friday in Phoenix is supposed to be in the 70s.
Oh.
That never happens. There's Steven Duggar, and a fastball strike.
Maybe we're the cloud.
We have been for a long time, Ronnie. We specialize in clouds. Duggar's the only guy who's hit the ball hard against Scherzer in this game, lined out to center field. And he comes up empty on a cutter running in on his hands, and it's 0-2. 0-2 from Scherzer. And Duggar takes that one low and in. Stephen Duggar, the only true center fielder on this Giants roster. He watches the changeup up and away. 2-2.
So just think about it. It's 2-2. He's seen 4 pitches. He could throw another changeup, cutter in, burn that 95-mile-an-hour up in under his hands.
And he struck him out with the high heat. 5 hitless innings for Max Scherzer. 7 strikeouts. Something to watch halfway through. 3-0 New York. Baseball chatter as our insiders share their opinions on the latest Mets and Yankees news. Baseball Night in New York, presented by Tri-State Cadillac Dealers, weeknights at 6 p.m. only on SNY. Home 5th inning, Mets leading 3-0, looking for a doubleheader sweep. Jeff McNeil will lead off against Sam Long, who came in to get the final out in the 4th after Logan Webb faltered. Webb pulled after 3 2/3, gave up 3 runs and 6 hits. McNeil's 0 for 2 in this game, 1 for 7 in the doubleheader. And facing the lefty, he swings and misses at a fastball, 0-1. Pete Alonso on deck, and then Eduardo Escobar, and once again Belt playing off the line where he's been burned repeatedly in this doubleheader.
I mean, he's off the line as far as anyone I've seen in the game. He will move to his left like when he knows that a breaking pitch is coming.
Neal hit a double between Belt and the line that drove in 2 runs in the first game. Escobar did the same to drive in 2 runs in the 3rd inning of this game. With 2 strikes, the 3rd baseman Vossler moves over to the right of the second base bag. And McNeil fouls away a fastball. 1-2. Alonso and Escobar to follow after McNeil leading off in the 5th. Mets have 6 hits in this game. McNeil trying to take one the other way, fouls it back. He's been much more in that mode this year. The old Jeff McNeil of 2018 and the first half of 2019, when he would go line to line.
Especially with 2 strikes, Gary. Looking to left field.
Just a guy who you thought would hit 300 in his sleep every year. He got a little power happy the second half of 2019, and he's been trying to find that happy medium ever since. Curveball slapped foul outside 3rd. But it's been an awfully good start for McNeil. Right now has his average hitting at 308, 400 on base percentage, right where he'd like to be. Give him a huge gap in right center field. He fouls off another fastball from Long. Eighth pitch of the at bat to McNeil, and that one goes to the backstop. So it doesn't escape attention that the Mets are the only team in the National League East over 500 at this juncture of the season. But something significant is happening tonight, and that is that Ronald Acuna is starting his rehab assignment. And McNeil goes down on strikes. So Long has his first strikeout. I mean, just the thought that the Braves were able to win the World Series last year without their best player is an amazing thing.
It's an amazing thing, but the people that they acquired played the best baseball of their careers. In Soler and Rosario early in the postseason, you could not get him out.
And Peterson.
And Peterson, of course.
And Duvall.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys.
So all 4 kind of made up for Ronald.
when the Braves get Acuna back, they become incrementally,
of course,
better.
They're expecting him in the beginning of May.
Yeah, about 3 weeks, maybe less. I mean, he's starting from ground zero. He hasn't played in a game since last July when he got hurt.
ACL, right?
July 10th, right before the All-Star break. Alonso walked and scored his last time up. Curveball misses from long. 2-1. Braves are 5-7 to begin the year.
How about Freeman hitting a home run in his first at bat against his ex-team?
After spending virtually the entire pregame in the Braves clubhouse hugging all of his old teammates. He said, "I love hugs." And then he went and he bashed them.
So his last at bat for the Braves in the postseason World Series was a home run. And then his first at bat against the Braves in a Dodger uniform is a home run.
3-2 to Pete. And he has been embraced big time by the fans in LA. I mean, the length of that Dodger lineup is just phenomenal. I mean, Bellinger's hitting 8th.
That's right. And he had a really tough spring training, but he's come out of the blocks a little better with a couple home runs early.
Dodgers won 7 straight after beating the Braves last night.
Who's their MVPs? Freeman, Bellinger, Kershaw,
Betts.
Come on.
Kershaw got beat up a little bit last night after his 7 perfect innings, his first time out. Swing and a miss, and Alonso down on strikes, so back-to-back strikeouts for Sam Long, who has settled things down for the Giants. He's retired all 3 batters to face him.
Fastball that he throws right by Pete, who was late. It's a little deception in Long's motion. That 93 plays a little faster.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Escobar, who had a 2-run 2-out double in the 3rd that gave the Mets the lead, and I think he was trying to ask for time.
He quick pitched him. I mean, he wasn't trying to quick pitch him. He just works very quickly, does Long.
It's almost like he thinks there's a pitch clock.
He pitched enough in the minor leagues, maybe, that he knows how to pitch with one.
Well, next year everybody better get used to the pitch clock.
My prediction, we'll see how it works out. Pitchers will adapt very quickly. The hitters are going to have a big issue with it because they have a lot to process, and they're not going to want to be rushed to face 95 plus.
And that's inside, and Escobar drops the bat to avoid getting hit and gives a little stare at it Long. It's been hit enough in this early season that they're starting to take a little bit of an exception to it.
I don't feel like any of these pitches were out of the ordinary that badly. That one's off the plate, but I think because of the nature of 3 or 4 in the same at bat off the plate in, got Escobar's ire.
Batting right-handed for the first time tonight, and he flies one out to right center, shallow, and out goes the second baseman Estrada to make the grab. Nice play by Thairo Estrada to end the inning. Scherzer, no hits through 5, goes back to the mound for the 6th. Jason Vosler fouls back a fastball as Max Scherzer starts the 6th inning. It's the 14th time in his career that Max Scherzer has no hit a team through 5 innings. Twice he's taken it the distance. This is with a curveball to Vosler, a ball and a strike, and both times it was the same year, 2015. Second one on this very mound. Walked 1, struck out 7, 67 pitches through 5 innings. 8-9-1 in the order for the Giants, and Vosler yanks one foul on a cutter, 1-2. Last time a Met carried a no-hitter through 5 innings was Taijuan Walker, who did it twice last year. 6 1/3 against the Dodgers, 5 1/3 against the Yankees. Vosler struck out his first time up. And the curveball in there for a call, strike 3. Scherzer drops a hammer. He's got his 8th strikeout. That's a season high.
Well, my count could be off, but I think now with that curveball for a strike, he's had strikeouts on 5 different pitches.
Now Curt Casali has been the only base runner tonight. He drew a walk on a 3-2 pitch with 2 out in the 3rd. Tied him up, but Scherzer didn't get the call. Ramon DeJesus is the home plate umpire. And Casali takes that for a strike, and it's 0-2. Check it, 1-1.
Yeah, there aren't many makeup calls. That might have been one of them. The first one was a perfect pitch. Second one,
That's a nasty slider, 1-2. He's got 5 pitches, and they've all been working for him tonight.
And we saw it in the first inning.
Two coming. Two and two to Casali, and he fouls back a fastball. Casali's given as good account of himself as anybody in that lineup tonight.
You just see Nido and just giving him the signs and the 5 different pitches, and every time he calls for it in a spot, it's in that spot.
Fastball in, fastball out, changeup. 2-2. And he missed inside with that changeup, and it's a full count. So Casali was the beneficiary of a walk his first time up, has worked another 3-2 count. Three-two coming, and he struck him out. 9 strikeouts for Scherzer. He's fanned the first 2 in the 6th.
2015, when he had that remarkable game here with 17 strikeouts, this slider here just perfectly placed. If you're Casali, you got to be ready for the fastball, and he throws the slider. That game in 2015, he did it with 97 plus and a hammer slider that was unhittable. This one's with 5 pitches, all precise.
Now he starts the 3rd time through the batting order. Mike Yastrzemski, who struck out and flied out. And the volume of this crowd rises with every out that Scherzer records. He's about to throw his 80th pitch. We're in the 6th inning. He's threw 96 in his last start against the Phillies, for reference. Played Kershaw, I would already have him been pulled with a perfect game working after 7 this year. Certainly pitch count becomes a consideration.
Max might be the only one his pitch count has gone down since his first start in spring training.
Of course, the hamstring intervened. Through 5 innings, the first time he pitched in an exhibition game this year, which nobody does. Yastrzemski, and he fouls it away. 2-2. Crowd bundled but boisterous. Two-two. Just missed away with a cutter, and it's 3-2. So a 2nd straight full count for Max. Faced 18, retired 17. 3-2 to Yastrzemski. And the curveball missed for ball 4. Well, he dropped a 3-2 curveball on Vossler, couldn't do it to Yastrzemski, and that's the second walk of the night for Scherzer. And now we'll face Brandon Belt with a man on. Belt is 0 for 2 in this game, struck out and flied out, 0 for 6 in the doubleheader. Yastrzemski at first with 2 down, and Belt takes a fastball inside for ball 1.
Belt had a good at bat. His last at bat, hit a ball pretty hard to right field, stayed in the ballpark.
Let's have the triangle shift on against him. Guillorme playing out in shallow right field. And what a high strike. Max might have gotten away with one there, 1-1.
That was not a strike. Belt's not happy, but Max got the call. What makes Belt so difficult to face, he's got tremendous power to left center and a good hitter to left field.
Curveball betrays Scherzer, and it's 2-1. Darren Ruff would be next. Focus of everybody in the ballpark is on Scherzer not having a lot of hit, but this is still a close game. It's 3-0 as we play in the 6th. Belt gets aboard. They get the tying run to bat. And that's too high. And all of a sudden the plate moving around a bit on Scherzer. 3 straight 3-ball counts now, and that's certainly making his pitch count rise to the point where Buck Showalter has to score him a little bit. I recognize that squirm from Terry Collins in 2012. 3-1 coming. And that's high, ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued by Scherzer, and that'll get Ruff to the plate as the tying run. So things get a bit more uncomfortable for Buck and Jeremy Hefner.
You know, you're reluctant to go out to the mound to talk to the 3-time Cy Young Award winner Max, but involved in this kind of game, might be a nice time to just give him a blow.
Reluctant because he might yell at you.
Just doesn't like visits.
Here's Ruff, who's grounded to short and struck out 0 for 2. 2 on, 2 out. And Ruff takes a slider down for ball 1. Well, as Scherzer approaches his high pitch count for the year, wonder if the command goes begging late in the game. This ball fouled away. He's not throwing as hard as he was earlier. The way he's going, if he were to go 9, he would have to get at least 2 or beyond that career high of 127 pitches. But you know what? We had this conversation 10 years ago. Here's the 1-1. Line into left field, and Ruff has the first Giants hit, and that'll bring in a run. Yastrzemski scampers in to score. The throw goes to second base. An RBI single for Darren Ruff breaks up Scherzer's no-hit bid and gets the Giants within 2. It's now 3-1. And a nice hand for Scherzer after he goes 5 2/3 without allowing a hit. Now of greater importance, the outcome of this game.
Good changeup, maybe the best pitch he's thrown in the last 3 batters, but good hitting by Ruff. Dumps it into left field for an RBI. Only a 2-run lead now for the Mets. Sometimes you pitch away from contact with history in the back of your mind. You forget about the game and the score.
So now the tying runs are on base for a dangerous hitter in Jock Peterson, who twice has flied out to center field. 1st and 3rd and 2 out. And Peterson turns one foul deep down the right field line and into the second deck. Scherzer struck out the 8 and 9 hitters to start the inning, but he walked Yastrzemski and Belt. Ruff picked up the first Giants hit. And now Scherzer with big pitches to make against Peterson, who was just 2 for 18 lifetime against Scherzer. And Peterson pops it up. Escobar waiting for it to come down. And that retires the side. Giants scratch for a hit and a run. But Scherzer stalks off with a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th at Citi Field. Dodgers, the Nationals going for a doubleheader sweep, as are the Mets. Mets won the opener in 10 innings 5-4. They lead 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th in the nightcap. Giants go to their third pitcher in this game. Right-hander Zach Littell comes on to pitch in the home 6th. Dom Smith leads off for New York. Dom singled to center to drive and run his last time up. It'll be Smith, Marte, and Guillorme for the Mets against Littell in the 6th.
Made the roster for opening day, first time in his career. He had a career year last year for this Giants team, as many of the guys in the bullpen did.
It's amazing up and down the line how good their pen was last year. He was in 63 games. Littell pitched to a 2.92 ERA. That bullpen is quiet. Max Scherzer at 94 pitches through 6 innings. Looks like maybe he'll get to start the 7th. And Dom flicks one to left field. That's down for a base hit. So Dom Smith has his 2nd hit of the night, matching his total for the season coming into the night.
A lot of good things coming through in this doubleheader. Clutch hits, stolen bases, fine pitching, and some base hits from guys who haven't had many.
2 hits for Dom in this game, 1 to center, 1 to left. That's good to see. Let's have their 7th hit of this game, and now Marte, who is 0 for 2, flied out and hit into a fielder's choice. And bluffing a bunt with the third baseman Vossler playing back. Takes a strike. Look at the defense. Shifted but not overshifted. And Marte comes up empty on the high fastball. 0-2. Zach Littell, who started his career with the Twins, 2nd year with the Giants.
That's got to be Jock. Yes, it is.
And warmer. Everybody's got their own ways of staying warm. It's the quarterback's way of staying warm.
I mean, it's cool if you're a quarterback.
I mean, these guys are used to playing in cold weather in July, not so much in April.
This is unusually cold, though.
Well, they just came from Cleveland, where they played in 35-degree weather on Sunday, which they said was the lowest temperature the Giants had ever played in since they started recording that sometime around 1990.
They swept the Guardians, didn't they?
They did. 16-4. They outscored them in 3 games. And Marte comes up empty on changeup. And so Littell has a strikeout for his first out. So 1 out and 1 on. And now Luis Guillorme, who in the doubleheader today, sans beard, has a sacrifice, a walk, and a single. So he's perfect in his non-hirsute state. Smith at first and 1 out. And Guillorme takes a fastball strike. Zach Littell, who went to high school in Haw River, North Carolina. Haw, H-A-W. Haw River, North Carolina. which feels like somewhere in the same neighborhood where Madison Bumgarner grew up.
Right. Makes me want to say hee-haw.
Makes me want to say Sheriff Taylor.
That's right.
Not Coach Taylor. That's a different show.
Yes.
Hit down to third, handled by Vossler, and Crawford with the stretch to get the out at second. It's a 5-6 fielder's choice for the second out.
It just can't be natural for a third baseman when he looks up and he's going to make the throw, and it's not the second baseman coming to the bag, but the shortstop running parallel to him from his position. And he makes a poor throw that Crawford turns into an out.
By the way, some quick research by Dave Freed. Haw River has a population of 2,450.
Wow. How great. How great is that?
There's Nito, who's flied out and grounded into a double play, 0 for 2. Guillorme now at first with 2 out. Max is still pacing. That's how you know he's still in the game. His first home start as a Met, and he has been dominant.
Well, we came off the mound. We saw that Buck had gone up to him, and you could tell usually what happens in that instance when you have a pitcher of Max's gravitas say, hey, you got one more in you, and then he'll answer you, and that's when the manager's got to really see if that answer is what he wants to hear, because yes, there can be many different forms of yes.
Nito hits one out to right, and Yastrzemski's there, and that retires the side. A hit and one left. Scherzer back to the mound for the 7th, working with a 3-1 lead. First home start as a Met, and Max Scherzer has treated the Citi Field mound like one he is familiar with and loves competing from, because that's the case. And he's still out there, 94 pitches deep to start the 7th inning against Brandon Crawford, and there's nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen. Crawford has struck out and grounded out 0 for 2. And he flies this one out to left, and Jeff McNeil barely has to move. 1 out.
You know, if you look at the season for the Giants last season, to win 107 games, a lot of things went right. Crawford and Belt had career years, 31 and 17 in one-run games, as you've seen John Brebbia getting up. But maybe even more importantly, 43 times they came from behind to win. Game's not over.
Thairo Estrada has struck out and flied out 0 for 2. Scherzer didn't allow a hit for the first 5 2/3. And a couple of walks put him in trouble. Darren Ruff picked up the lone San Francisco hit to drive in a run. He got Peterson to pop up to end that 6th inning, and Showalter's showing a lot of faith in his 3-time Cy Young Award winner, sending him out for the 7th. As Estrada gets jammed and fouls it off, and it's 1-1.
It's the most curveballs I've ever seen Scherzer throw in a start.
Most pitches he threw in a start last year was 109. Rolled over to short, and there is Lindor throwing on target to Smith. 2 out. The road ahead presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Night game tomorrow, day game Thursday, then it's off to the desert. 3 in Arizona, 3 in St. Louis before the Mets get home a week from Friday to take on the Phillies. Look forward to having Steve back in the fold by then. So Scherzer trying to negotiate the top of the 7th. He's gotten 2 quick outs, and now Steven Duggar is lined to center and struck out 0 for 2. Yeah, first pitch curveball drops in for a strike. Scherzer has walked 3, struck out 9. And now he's ahead on Duggar, 0-2.
Just aired that one out, threw it as hard as he could down the middle.
104 times in his career, Max Scherzer has struck out 10 or more. 104 times, including a 20 strikeout game to tie the major league record.
One more fastball, as hard as he can throw it upstairs.
His 102nd pitch of the night upcoming. In there, strike 3 called. He dropped a changeup on him on 0-2, and he gets Duggar looking for his 10th strikeout of the night. What a finish to his first home start as a Met for Max Scherzer. On the latest Mets pod, Connor Rogers and Joe DeMaio discuss the early success of McGill and Carrasco in the rotation, as well as Drew Smith's dominance out of the bullpen, plus why Pete Alonso is best suited as a DH despite wanting to play first base. Subscribe and listen to the Mets pod, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Well, Max Scherzer, home debut as a Met, sparkling. 7 innings, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. He was everything you could have hoped for.
He was just talking about his curveball to David Peterson. That was classic.
First Met pitcher to go beyond 6 innings this year. Scherzer got the extra inning, took him just 8 pitches to get through it, and he'll turn it over to the bullpen for the last 6 outs. John Brebbia on to pitch the home 7th, and he throws one by Brandon Nimmo, 0-1.
Brebbia had a lot of success for the St. Louis Cardinals, then had Tommy John surgery, and now making his comeback.
Started out in the Yankee organization. They let him go. He went to independent ball. Played in Sioux Falls and Laredo in the American Association to work his way back. Finding his niche in the big leagues. Drew Smith getting ready to pitch the 8th inning for New York. Well, Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson tower over everybody else in terms of double-digit strikeout games, but Scherzer's in that next pantheon with Clemens and Pedro. 105 games now with 10 or more. First is a Met. Late swing foul by Nimmo to stay in there. Brandon's 0 for 2 and a walk in this game. His first start coming off the COVID injured list. Lindor and McNeil to follow. Mets could use some insurance. They got all 3 of their runs in the 3rd. Big hits by Escobar and Dom Smith, each with 2 out. Escobar drove in a pair with a double. Dom followed out on the next pitch with a single. 2-2 now to Nimmo. Once he finishes pacing, now he is debriefing all of his fellow starters.
Yeah, holding court, and they all are into it and listening.
Well, they should. Every word.
It's probably also giving them a little blueprint for what to do the next 2 days. He's got the catchers there as well. Can is an earnest listener.
Got Bassett going tomorrow. Carrasco on Thursday in the final 2 games of this series. And they are both sitting there listening on the right. Full count now to Nimmo. He's already walked once tonight. Giants bullpen has been terrific in this doubleheader. Marlon Garcia wound up taking the loss in the 10th, but the Giants got 4 2/3 scoreless relief before that, and 2 1/3 so far in this game. Nimmo keeps wasting away that breaking ball. Sam Long retired all 4 to face him. Zach Littell worked around the leadoff single in the 6th for San Francisco to keep this game close. Ninth pitch of the at bat coming to Brandon, and Nimmo fights off the fastball. And another foul ball.
We've seen a few of those at bats by Mets hitters in this doubleheader.
.31-year-old John Brebbia from Elon University. Used to be the Fighting Christians. Now they're the Phoenix. He's probably there in the Fighting Christians days. 11th pitch of the at bat. And Nimmo fouls off that fastball. Brebbia is not sure what to make of this.
Does he know he's battling the force field?
He throws it out of the strike zone. It will be a walk. What's great about the force field is it doesn't get called out on strikes as much as he used to. Slaps one on the ground to third, and Vossler plays the hop off the grass. 1 out. So Brebbia wins that battle. You know, early in Nimmo's career, he was so selective that he'd draw a lot of walks, but he'd also get called out a lot, and we don't see that at all anymore.
Yeah, he was. He took a lot of 3-2 pitches for strikes. Yes, he did. But like everything else in Brandon's game, all of that has been improved.
Here's Lindor, who's having himself quite a day and quite a first 2 weeks of the season. Two hits in the first game. The first one tied it. The second one won it in the 10th. 2 for 3 in this game. It's an average of .317 for the season. How about this? At no time last year was Lindor's batting average above .250. Got off to a slow start, and even though he had a pretty good second half, he was just never able to catch up. Very different beginning to his second year in New York. And it's amazing how often that's the case. He turns one down the right field line toward the pole and just foul.
Yeah, Brebbia is going to pick up that piece of paper. I don't know how Lindor hit that because the paper was idling right in the middle between Brebbia and Lindor.
40 doubles and 30 home runs, 3 straight seasons. Only 5 players have done it. Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer Cabrera, Soriano, and Lindor. Oh, Mickey's got to be getting close, right? He was what, 5 hits away from 3,000?
That's right.
In the air to left field, pretty well hit. Peterson given ground and gets back to make the catch. 2 out.
Detroit's having a big night tonight too offensively.
So 2 out now. Jeff McNeil is 0 for 3 in this game, 1 for 8 in the doubleheader. Scherzer's out of the game, but he's still pacing.
And put ice on later. It's that cold.
The thing about it is, you know, his adrenaline isn't pumping as hard, but he's still in constant motion on days he doesn't pitch.
Yeah, he's totally into the game. He's a, you know, I think pitchers get a bad reputation sometimes that their day is the only day they kind of pay attention, but he is into every game. He's a baseball player even though he's a pitcher.
Rolled over down to first, and Belt makes the flip to Brebbia, who has himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. Now Scherzer hands it off to the bullpen. 6 outs to get. Mets lead 3-1. All right, gentlemen, we'll check with you after the game. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on their most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Northwell, when they raise women's health, they raise everyone. And by your Tri-State Audi dealers. Bundled up against the cold, 45 degrees, wind blowing.
Mr. Met Sox.
It's been a night for the hardy souls at Citi Field, and they've had plenty to cheer about. Drew Smith on to pitch the 8th inning. Jason Vosler takes the first pitch fastball for ball 1.
He's been impeccable. No runs allowed. A couple of walks has put him in trouble, but this is probably the most important 3 outs he's going to get this season so far.
Worked a hitless inning on Sunday against the Diamondbacks his last time out. Vosler rolls over the slider and pulls it foul. It's really interesting looking at the evolution of Drew Smith, who was a fastball curveball pitcher when he first came up, then added the cutter. Now that cutter has evolved into a slider, and it seems to have turned that last corner for him.
Well, in talking to him, he was addressing that he's always kept the confidence in himself, that he knows injuries have really played a big part in taking him off the field. And the other thing he's been concentrating on is that he's been told ever since he started in the bullpen that you're supposed to maybe not throw all 4 your pitches, because he's got 4 pitches. And he said he's been allowed this year to throw all those pitches if he wants. And why do relievers not do that? Because they hear this since they're kids. Do not get beat with your 3rd best pitch.
And yet we've seen Seth Lugo do it for years.
That's right.
Use 4, sometimes 5 or 6 different pitches and be effective out of the bullpen. Vosler 0 for 2 in this game, and he pulls one into the shift. Guillorme from the outfield grass throws him out, 1 away. So Vosler retired. He had a big first game with a couple of hits in his first action of the season, but 0 for 3 in this one. And now Curt Casali, who had some of the best at bats against Scherzer tonight, a walk and a strikeout in his 2 plate appearances. Max threw 102 pitches over 7 innings, 1 run, 1 hit, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, and a chance to go 3-0 if the bullpen can get him 5 more outs. Chasing some Jorge Sosa history. I mentioned it earlier. The last Met to make his first 3 appearances as a starter for the Mets and win all 3. Jorge Sosa. And Scherzer with a chance to do that tonight. That's lined into left field, and Casali's got a base hit. Just the 2nd San Francisco hit of this game, and that'll get the tying run to the plate in the 8th.
Fastball. He had good swings at Max's fastball, and here hits a bullet to left field. Boy, you like when your backup catcher, although he plays a lot of games, can produce this kind of offense late.
So now Mike Yastrzemski, who is a power threat, tying run at the plate. 25 home runs last year for Yastrzemski. He's 0 for 2 and a walk in this game, 1 for 5 in the doubleheader, and takes a fastball for a strike from Smith. The Giants last year hit 241 home runs, which not only led the National League, but for a team that's been around for 140 years, it was a new franchise record. They're very much centered around the home run. And Yastrzemski gets a hold of one to right field. Marte goes back, right back near the wall to make the catch. On a different kind of a night, that ball probably leaves the ballpark, but it got caught up in the wind, and Marte was able to have enough room to make the play for a long 2nd out.
Well, if you're a Giants hitter, a left-handed hitter, you're used to the ball dying sometimes in right field, but look at this contact. Down, right where he likes it, towering shot to right field, and because it was so high, I think that's why it was knocked down.
So a big sigh of relief for Drew Smith and for Max Scherzer. And now 2 out and a runner at first for Brandon Belt. And he starts him with a curveball in the dirt for ball 1.
You know, part of getting off to a good start, Gary, is you need some fortunate things to happen your way, right? Alonso stays on the bag. to complete that out from the throw from Lindor in game 1. That was huge, or the Giants would have went ahead. And this ball here stays in the park.
Belt is 0 for 6 in the doubleheader, and he swings and misses at a fastball. Tyler McGill faltered a bit in game 1, became the first Mets starter to give up 4 runs in a start, but Scherzer picks him up with a big start in game 2. Mets starters ERA through the first 12 games is now 1.56. 1-1 to Belt, and the curveball low and in. 2-1. Giants 1 run 2 hits. The Mets 3 runs and 7 hits were in the 8th. Mets were 18-10 in doubleheader games last year when they were 7 innings. They're 1-0 in doubleheader games this year at 9 innings. And the fastball catches the inside corner for a strike, and it's 2-2 to Belt. From Smith to Belt. Going in, overthrew that fastball on a full count. So Casali will be in motion. Dom Smith playing behind him at first. Darren Ruff would be next. D.O. Smith at first. D.R. Smith on the mound. 3-2. Ground ball right side into the shift, charging Guillorme on the run, side retired. Another strong inning for Drew Smith. He survives the high fly by Yastrzemski into the wind, and we go to the bottom of the 8th at Citi Field. Mets up 3-1. For the best coverage in the game, check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. It was nice looking at the Empire State Building. There's a camera we have pointed at it all night. Geico Sports Night comes up after the postgame tonight. Plenty to react off with Max Scherzer's Mets Citi Field debut. All the basketball and hockey news as well. Mets 3 outs away from sweeping a doubleheader. May not be trumpets in this game because Edwin Diaz pitched in game 1. Worked a scoreless 9th, so it looks like Trevor May is going to get the save opportunity in the 9th inning tonight as Junior Marte comes in to make his second big league appearance for the Giants.
Yeah, I saw his first big league appearance in San Francisco, and he is tall, strong, and throws hard. 97 plus.
Started out in the Kansas City organization. 27 years old. Pete Alonso leads off in the last of the 8th with the Mets looking to tack on to a 3-1 lead. Giant relievers have retired 10 of the 11 batters they've faced since coming on in the 4th. Alonso's 0 for 2 and a walk in this game, and he chases a fastball out of the strike zone, and it's 0-2. Alonso, then Escobar and Smith for the Mets in the 8th. May getting ready for the 9th when the Giants will have 3, 4, and 5 in the order due up. Ruff, Peterson, and Crawford. And a slider blooped over Belt's head, and he can't make the catch. And Alonso's safe at first. A confusing looking ball as Belt retreated on it, but he did get his glove on it, but couldn't squeeze it. And a very funny looking hit for Pete Alonso.
Off the end of the bat, and it looks like he had it pretty easy there, but with that spin and the wind, didn't stay in the glove for Belt.
First hit of the day for Alonso. He'll take it. So Pizza Board leading off in the 8th with the Mets' 8th hit of the game. And here is Escobar, who's 2 for 3 in this game. He gave the Mets the lead with a 2-run double in the 3rd. Got the ball.
Dominic Smith just gave it to him.
Long night of freezing just paid off.
Yep.
And Alonso jumping off first base.
Well, they told Marte to step off.
He almost balked.
And he almost balked.
Got a rookie pitcher on the mound, just his second major league appearance, hoping to fluster him. Escobar takes a fastball away at 97 miles an hour, a ball and a strike. That's got to Logan Webb in the third inning tonight. Webb lasted just 3 2/3, allowed 3 runs, 6 hits. He will not have many outings like that this year, you wouldn't suspect. And the Mets got enough for Scherzer. Good fastball by Marte, and it's 1-2.
Well, you know Webb is joining that upper echelon, Gary, right? When you has an outing like this and you just never expect it. It's like out of nowhere.
So let's see. We have Starling Marte. The Diamondbacks over the weekend had Ketel Marte, and this is Junior Marte. And he blows away Escobar with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball for the first out. Boy, they've got some arms in this Giants bullpen.
They do.
And there is Marte getting set to face Marte.
All different kinds of arms, though. They have the guys that throw like Marte. They have Tyler Rogers, who you saw in Game 1. You know, Harleen Garcia, and of course the other lefty. Lots of changeups.
Right. Alvarez.
Yep.
Dom Smith 2 for 3 in this game, matching his hit total for the season coming in. He was just 2 for 18 when the night began. He drove in a run with a third inning single, then led off the 6th with an opposite field hit. In case you're wondering about Trevor May getting the save opportunity, Edwin Diaz has never pitched in both games of a doubleheader. I don't think Buck has any intention of starting to do that now, particularly this early in the season. And the luxury is that the Mets do have other guys who have saved games.
They do, and you know, this kind of weather is the ultimate sit down, right, and have to get up again. So
well, it is certainly helping the bullpen that Drew Smith has started to really earn a place in the circle of trust. Finished last year with 6 consecutive scoreless innings. He started this year with 6 2/3 consecutive scoreless. Got a little fortunate in that last half inning on the fly ball hit by Yastrzemski. Get knocked down by the wind, but you take that.
Well, it's hard to be flawless all year. You need a couple of breaks.
1-2 to Dom with Alonso at first and 1 out. And Smith goes down swinging on the slider. So Junior Marte very impressive. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 out. Dom may have struck out, but he made a new friend. An apple and a ball. What more could you ask for?
Spring break for a lot of kids right now.
It's still cold.
It doesn't feel like spring.
So now Marte versus Marte. Starling's 0 for 3 in this game, and he takes a slider for a strike. No relation, by the way. This kid's got good stuff.
Yeah. And he's the guy they've called up twice.
He was added today as the 29th player for the second game of the doubleheader. Struck out the last 2 batters. Now he's 0-2 on his co-Marte. Looks like our bug is stuttering, but it's not. We just added that this year, the batter on the bug in addition to the pitcher. Nice addition. going to get to the point where he can eliminate the play-by-play guy completely. 1-2 coming, and Sterling jumps back out of the way, and it's 2-2. Marte on the left, Marte on the right. Stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. Alonso at first, 2 out. 2-2 coming. And pick up by Casali on the backhand to prevent the wild pitch. 3-2.
Casali's had a good game back there.
And a good day at the plate as well. So Alonso will be running with 3-2 and 2 down. Belt will play behind him. Guillorme would be next. 3-2 from Marte to Marte. And he struck him out with a slider. 3 straight strikeouts for Junior Marte. And that sends us off to the 9th. Trevor May will be getting the save opportunity. Mets trying to sweep a doubleheader from the Giants. Third game of this series tomorrow night. Mets will have Chris Bassett on the mound against Carlos Rodon. 6:30 the coverage tomorrow night right here on SNY. Mets looking to put 2 wins in the Kip. They won the first game in extra innings 5-4. They're up 3-1 in the nightcap with 3 outs to get. Travis Jankowski comes in to play left field. And Trevor May, who saved 4 games last year for the Mets, looks for his first save of this season.
Yeah, pitched a couple days ago against the Diamondbacks. Clean inning.
Darren Ruff, the leadoff hitter. He's driven in the only run of the day. He had the first hit for the Giants in the 6th against Max Scherzer. Carried a no-hit bid for 5 2/3 before giving up that lone hit. The only other hit came in the 8th. Kurt Casali against Drew Smith. And it's rolled down to third where Escobar is there to field it. And the throw is true. Ruff retired, 1 away. This Giants lineup is so full of guys who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Just need to keep somebody off base, keep that tying run from coming to bat. It's had to hold their breath in the 8th in just that kind of circumstance when Yastrzemski hit one of the warning track.
We said 241 led the National League, 2nd in the major leagues.
Blue Jays had more.
Blue Jays.
Jock Peterson 0 for 3 in this game, homered in game 1. And takes the fastball high from May, ball 1. Peterson 0 for 2 in his career against May. Giants came in riding a 5-game winning streak. Mets trying to hand him a 2nd straight loss, and there's a good slider by May to get even on Peterson, 1-1. Trevor May 11 saves in his major league career, 7 as a Twin, 4 as a Met. And Peterson fouls away the fastball at 97. And Trevor's up in the count 1-2 with Brandon Crawford waiting on deck.
That's the hardest we've seen him throw as a Met, 97 miles an hour.
That's how the triangle shift on against Peterson. 1-2 coming. He sails that one up and away, 2-2. They trying to save it from Max Scherzer, trying to get Max 3 wins in 3 starts as a Met. Scherzer was simply brilliant tonight. Two coming. Hit on the ground sharply. Nice play. Lindor gets to his feet. 2 down. Francisco Lindor has been everywhere in this doubleheader. He's here, he's there, he's every bleeping where. Lindor,
you know,
Lindor.
Sometimes you want you put your players in the right position, but you need the good athletes to make great plays, and that's what Lindor did there.
And thus the Giants are down to their final out. Brandon Crawford, the batter. Lindor moving about 7 feet to his right before the pitch is thrown, and a swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch, 0-1. Crawford is 0 for 3, struck out, grounded out, flied out after 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the opener. And a swing and a miss. And now the Giants are down to their final strike. Trevor May's got it working tonight. Two out and nobody on. 0-2 to Crawford. Backdoor slider at his feet, and it's 1-2. Thairo Estrada would be next if Crawford can keep it going for the Giants. Giants beat the Mets 5 out of 6 last year. Mets trying to take 2 in one day. 1-2 coming. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Trevor May puts on the finishing touches on a doubleheader sweep for the New York Mets. The Mets won the opener in extra innings. They take the nightcap behind a brilliant performance by Max Scherzer. And the Mets are now 9-3 on the season as they beat San Francisco in the nightcap 3-1.
Well, just a timely hitting. Lindor, what a great 2 games here in this doubleheader. And Scherzer was just electric with his try for a no-hit bid here at Citi Field in his first start.
Drew Smith and Trevor May finishing up a combined 2-hitter for the Mets as Scherzer in his home debut as a Met strikes out 10 and allows just 1 hit over 7 innings as the Mets take 2 from the Giants. First time they swept a doubleheader from San Francisco since 1979. Mets are now 9-3 on the season and rolling. They've won 6 of their last 7 as they would win this one tonight 3-1. For every Mets win, the Amazing Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Katz Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northwell.edu/cats. With tonight's win, the total contribution so far this season is $22,500. Trevor May with the save. Mets finish off the doubleheader sweep, winning 3-1. More from Citi Field coming right up.